Welcome to Invisible Tears. I'm Jane and I'm here today with Amanda. We're going to talk a little bit about what everybody knows about the search warrant.
Yep.
I woke up on the morning of my birthday last week, May 21st. It was supposed to be a normal day during the week, so everybody's working, whatever. And we're going to go out, me and Jessica, we're going to go outside to clean the pool. And all of a sudden, I get a phone call. This is like, I don't know, 9:30 in the morning, something like that. And it was Detective or State Police Trooper Mike McLaughlin, the one that's been working on my case. And he is like, before you see it on the news, I want you to know we are conducting a search of a home in Newport. We have a search warrant. I was like, okay, is it connected with the Connecticut River Valley cases? And he's like, yes. And he proceeded to tell me that like everybody is up there full force. Major crime unit, New Hampshire State Police, uh, the AG office, the cold case unit, Newport Police, uh, everybody was up there. Did I leave anybody out?
I don't think so.
Probably. uh, just about every branch of law enforcement was up there in Newport, New Hampshire with the search warrant. Now, I'm going to explain something real quick why this is kind of significant. Because in 40 plus years that these cases, the Connecticut River Valley cases, have been unsolved, this is the first search warrant they've ever conducted on any home.
Yep.
So he told me that, news media is already up there. He wanted to let me know before I saw it on the news. So he said, I will let you know if anything comes about this. I will update you.
Yep.
But it won't be immediate, which obviously it wouldn't be immediate.
Right.
I go and I turn on my TV to the news, and there it is. I was like, holy crap. They wasted no time. So I immediately called Amanda and Drew.
Yep. Thank
I
you.
was like, I got to call Amanda and Drew. I got to tell them about this. Oh my God. So I called Amanda, and your reaction, Amanda?
And my reaction was, I was actually just about to call you because I was on the phone with a friend. The timing was just so weird. I was on the phone with a friend, FaceTiming her, and her husband came over and put his phone in front of hers and showed me the headline and was like, "Did Amanda see this? This just broke. Did Amanda see this? This just broke." And I was like, huh. And I went on my laptop and I actually, pulled up the headline and I was like, well, I need to let you guys go. Literally, I was in the middle of telling them I needed to let them go because I was going to call you when you started calling me. I was like, I gotta go. I gotta go. So I was like, I just want to make sure Jane has seen this. But I was very, very, I was very excited to hear that McLaughlin had already called you. Like, even though it was almost like instantaneous, just him reaching out to you, like
Yeah.
that communication there, I was extremely happy with that because at least you weren't, blindsided. And come to find out, he or members of the law enforcement actually contacted other families related to the
Yes.
Connecticut River Valley cases, right?
Yep. Come to find out, Julie Murray, Mora's sister, was contacted.
Yep.
And Mike did tell me that they were contacting as many family members as they could to let them know. So I know several people were contacted. He was like, you were my person that I needed to contact.
Oh,
I said,
that's great.
okay.
It's great.
Yeah, I guess certain people had certain certain officials had certain people that they needed to contact. So
Mhm.
yeah, I was just so shocked.
Yeah.
I was shocked, but then I was excited inside. But then I had to really draw myself back and say, whoa, wait a minute.
Mhm.
Once I found out the house that they were searching, that they had the search warrant for, has been a suspect, or not even a suspect, person of interest
Yep.
since the beginning,
Right.
since pretty much
Mhm.
Um, Ellen Freed's body was discovered. Her remains were discovered. So yeah, he's been a person of interest for a lot of years. Um, but I really had to bring myself back and say, you know what, Jane, this could be something, this could be nothing.
Mhm.
Let them do their work, let them do their jobs, um, and see what happens. I really had to everything with an open mind, think about everything with an open mind. And then, like right after I got off the phone with you, Amanda, my phone blew up.
Oh, I'm sure.
um, like people were calling me, people were messaging me. Um, it was crazy for a couple of hours there. I'm trying to respond to everybody. I'm trying to let them know that yes, I do know about this. Yes, the state police did call me, um and then WMUR called me.
Mhm.
I did a very short, brief little interview with them. They were looking for information that I just didn't have.
Right.
Um, all I could do is confirm that, yeah, it was for the Connecticut River Valley cases. But it was crazy there for a couple of hours. Um, but you know what? The emails and the private messages and everything we got was it was overwhelming, but yeah, it was needed.
Mhm.
Definitely. Um, but it was the messages were so heartfelt, and we have amazing people that follow us.
We do.
We have amazing people that heard my story and show us so much compassion and love.
Mhm.
Um, and the messages that we've got were just beautiful, caring, and you know, thank you. We want to thank everybody that messaged us and reached out to us because it does mean a lot to us. Obviously, that day I had no way of like really answering to all of them. I did read all of them though, and you know, after the initial okay, this is going on, I had to try to go and have somewhat of a normal day.
Right.
Otherwise, my mind was just totally consumed about everything. But it was a crazy day. A lot of people credited me for this search warrant,
Mhm.
um, and credited us. The last year since we done the rally, we have tried so hard to make sure people knew that these cases were still unsolved. And we have tried very hard to make sure that the AG office and the law enforcement aren't forgetting about these cases.
Mhm.
I even sent pictures of each one of them. I printed out pictures and sent pictures with, written on the picture, please don't forget me, of all the girls. And I sent them to the AG office in a card. you
Mhm.
know, I just, yeah, maybe that's a little bit, okay, this is in my face, but yeah, maybe that's what we needed to do
Mhm.
to, you know, to have them look at these cases and reinvestigate these cases, or you know, make sure they didn't forget about these cases, that they're working on these cases. So maybe it was a little bit in their face, but, maybe it worked.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why all of a sudden they're looking into these cases and the search warrant came out. I mean, first of all, the search warrant, you don't just get a search warrant
No.
for 40-year-old cold cases. They had to have had something
Right.
to been able to get the search warrant.
Mhm.
And that, first one in 40 years, that's pretty big.
It's
That
really,
is
really
like
big.
huge.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, um, maybe our hard work with making sure they don't forget these cases is working.
Mhm.
Um, we're not stopping because,
No.
hey, you know what? We got another rally coming up in August.
We do.
And we are definitely making sure that these cold cases aren't forgotten. And maybe, hopefully, not just the Connecticut River Valley cases, but maybe they start looking at a lot of the other old cases in the cold case
Mhm.
unit that are unsolved.
Mhm.
Um, we've been doing stories on a lot of these cold cases the past this past season.
Yep.
And maybe they're listening to our podcast. I don't know.
Well, we did yeah, I don't know if there's anybody, up in Concord or if they're, going as far as the Attorney General's office. I don't have confirmation of that, but I have heard from people in more local law enforcement that there are people within local law enforcement, specifically Keene and Swansea, that are listeners. Which it was just shocking at first to hear that, but I mean, I guess it makes sense. Um,
Yeah,
and it wasn't listening from the perspective of, oh, are they trashing us? More so, oh, what's going on? What really happened? They're going to clarify
yeah,
this, and so it was really from more of like an informational perspective, which is very cool. I think this is sort of proof. Well, it's great that people are so super supportive, and, reaching out and really crediting, of course, you, Jane, of course, the team, of course, the coalition, right?
yeah.
With, this wouldn't happen without you guys and that sort of thing. That's so super awesome for you guys to say, and we don't know if it would or if it wouldn't, but I can't help but feel like you are heard now. They
Yeah.
are at least listening. When you speak, they're listening. We have an ear. And that's important because, like you said, it's not just about the Connecticut River Valley cases. I mean, of course, that's the, main advocacy point for yourself and for the rest of the cases that are related, but we're advocating for all cases. We're advocating
Yes,
for people that don't have a voice. And so
exactly.
just to know that maybe we did help, you know,
Yeah,
push push some action forward is a really fantastic feeling.
yeah. I'm definitely gonna continue to be a voice for the voiceless and these girls.
We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. And now back to our episode.
Another thing that happened that day is Bernice Cordemarsh's niece, Lexi, contacted me, and we got on the phone and we're FaceTiming each other. We must have talked for an hour and a half. She's so sweet. We talked a lot about Bernice and Lexi and how Lexi feels about all this. And she's young, so she was not born at the time of Bernice's murder.
Mhm.
So all she knows is what she has been told or what she has read. And, she came up with a very good point. One of the first things she said is, I hope there's a resolution with the search warrant.
Mhm.
She says, because what people don't realize or understand is like Bernice's parents have passed. They both have passed away.
Mhm.
And the burden of all this, it goes to the next generation.
Right.
and she's the next generation.
Mhm.
And, she's like, I just wish there were answers and some kind of resolution to these cases.
Right.
Um, and, like, you don't really think about that. God, the next generation. Like
Mhm.
Jessica's the next generation,
Mhm.
that would bear the burden of still trying to not let them forget about these cases.
Yep.
Um, and it goes from generation to generation to generation. And you really don't think about that much. And she really brought up the really good point about it.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I had never thought about that either, but I mean, you're exactly right. Like when you sit and you think about these cases, I mean, not only was is there an obvious initial impact, right? When these, women lost their lives, obvious impact to, immediate family, but the longer this goes on, you're right, it's passed down generation to generation.
Yeah.
And that's a lot. That's a lot for a family to hold and to carry.
I mean, Lexi gets very, very emotional when we talk about Bernice,
Mhm.
and she never even met her.
Yeah.
And that's just okay. Yeah, even though she's never met Bernice, her murder still affects Lexi emotionally.
Yeah.
And I guess unless you go through that and you've gone through that, you really wouldn't understand the magnitude of that.
Right.
Um, and she, not only just for her grandparents, but for herself, she just wished there was answers.
Yeah.
And, not so much closure, but she wished the cases would be solved and closed.
Yep.
And, you know, if there's justice, great. If there's no justice, okay. But solve these cases, close these cases, and that way people can move on with their lives in peace. And the girls can rest in peace, knowing that there's finally answers and these cases are closed. But it still stands. These cases are still open. Obviously, they're being active cases.
Mhm.
Um, they are still unsolved. Something, say something. It's
Mhm.
been 40 years. Come forward.
Mhm.
Not necessarily if you're the one that's done these murders, but if you know something as small as minute as it could be, just come forward, say something, contact the state police, contact the AG office in Concord. We always put the number up.
Yep.
um these cases are unsolved.
Mhm. Yep, absolutely. And there's an anonymous line too that people can contact
Yes.
as well. So there's multiple ways to do it. And just before we wrap, Jane, too, I think a couple of the only little points I want to make sure and put out to people is that kind of like you reiterated at the beginning of this episode when you started talking. Obviously, this is big news. Big news. First ever warrant issued. I saw a lot of traction online with people jumping to conclusions and saying these
Yeah.
are solved. I knew it was him. That like the ball started rolling, and that's why we made sure and put some public communications out there saying, "Listen, this is big news. This matters to us. Of course, we're paying attention, but let the police work. Let's see what they come up with. Let's keep an open mind. This is just the search warrant, right? And it'll take a while for us to be able to find out if they actually found out anything. And then going along with that too, there may be information that was found that can't be shared with the public. We
Yeah.
appreciate people. We understand that people want to know any and all information that was found, right? But I mean, obviously, Jane, sometimes some information is communicated to you, you can't share with the public because we would never want to compromise any sort of active investigation. Like, just remember that, guys. We're not trying to be mean. We're not trying to, purposely keep anything from anybody, but obviously, these cases aren't solved, we can't compromise any sort of information from an investigation. So just keep those pieces and those points in mind.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah. We gotta make sure the integrity of these cases are
Mhm.
good. Like,
Yeah.
we don't compromise the integrity of these cases.
Mhm.
And yes, hopefully that, they found some stuff that they can run through forensics or
Right.
DNA. It's gonna be a few months,
Mhm.
maybe longer before we hear anything.
Yep.
So, yeah, we're just gonna have to, wait patiently, see what comes about this. Um, it'll be like, include him, exclude him.
Right.
And I think that's what they're trying to do. Include him or exclude this person. So, I'm not gonna share the name of the home that the search warrant was conducted. I'm sure everybody has seen it online.
Yep.
Um, I do not know this person. I do not know who he is. I've only heard rumors,
Mhm.
and, so I'm not really gonna comment on any of that. Do I think it's him? Do I think it's not him? I'm not gonna comment on any of that.
Mhm.
I don't know,
Mhm.
and that's why I'm gonna let them do their jobs. This is the state police and the AG's office job to do. It's their job to solve this,
Mhm.
not mine and
Yep.
not ours. So, but we are gonna continue to be a voice for the voiceless. We're gonna continue to be out there, talking about these cases still and other cold cases, and we got a rally coming up in August, and we will definitely be updating soon with a lot of information with that. We
Mhm.
again will be collaborating with Julie Murray and Trish Haynes' family and Light the Way. So there'll be a lot more information about that. So, with that said, hope everybody has a great day. Thank you for listening to Invisible Tears.
Yes.
Thank you for
Thank you.
following us. Share, subscribe. It helps us to stay here. It helps us to
Yes.
continue with the podcast. And we really do thank you for following us.
Thank you all so much for listening to this episode of Invisible Tears. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast to hear all future episodes. Click into our link tree too in the episode description to find and follow us on all our social medias. And it also links to our website, invisible-tears.com, where you can keep current on any events that may be coming up, read more about Jane and the team, and read more about all the Connecticut River Valley unsolved cases. Evil may exist in this world, but we will not let it win. See you next episode.